In the beginning of this story, before the Nile turned to blood and before the sky itself seemed to tremble with judgment, there was a promise made long before to a man named Abraham, that his descendants would become a great nation, yet would suffer in a land not their own. And now, generations later, that promise hung heavy in the air of Egypt, where the children of Israel groaned under the weight of slavery, their cries rising like smoke into heaven. So if you are ready to witness one of the most dramatic and awe-inspiring displays of divine power ever recorded, stay with this story until the end, because what unfolds is not just history, but a revelation of justice, mercy, and the unstoppable will of God. And if this story moves you, don't forget to share it with others who need to hear it, because some truths are too powerful to keep to yourself. Now, the scene opens on Egypt, a land of splendor and might, where Pharaoh, a king who believed himself a god, ruled with absolute authority. And beneath his rule, the Israelites labored day and night, building cities, carrying burdens, their hope fading with each passing generation. Until one day, in the wilderness far from Egypt's palaces, a shepherd named Moses encountered a burning bush that was not consumed. And from within that fire, God spoke, calling him to return to Egypt and demand the impossible. "Let my people go." And though Moses trembled with doubt, questioning his own worth and ability, God assured him that he would not go alone, that signs and wonders would accompany him. And so Moses, with his brother Aaron, returned to Egypt, stepping into the court of Pharaoh, where gold gleamed and power radiated. And there, standing before the most powerful man on earth, Moses delivered the command of the Almighty. But Pharaoh's heart was hard, unmoved, and with a voice of pride he refused, asking, "Who is the Lord that I should obey him?" And with that question, the stage was set for a confrontation unlike any other, not merely between two men, but between the God of Israel and the gods of Egypt. The first plague came as a shock to the land, as Moses stretched out his staff over the Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, and suddenly its waters turned to blood. Fish died, the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink. Yet Pharaoh's magicians imitated the sign, and his heart remained unchanged. And so the suffering continued. Then came the frogs, emerging in countless numbers, covering the land, invading homes, beds, ovens, and kneading bowls, until the Egyptians could find no escape. And though Pharaoh begged for relief, promising to let the people go, the moment the frogs were gone, he hardened his heart again. Next came the gnats, rising from the dust itself, tormenting man and beast. And this time, even the magicians recognized the hand of God, declaring, "This is the finger of God." Yet Pharaoh refused to listen. Then swarms of flies filled the land, thick and relentless. Yet in Goshen, where the Israelites lived, there were none, a clear distinction that could not be ignored. And still Pharaoh bargained, delaying obedience. The fifth plague struck the livestock, and across Egypt, animals fell dead. Yet again, Israel's remained untouched, a sign of divine protection. But Pharaoh's heart stayed stubborn. The sixth plague brought boils, painful sores breaking out on man and beast, and even the magicians could not stand before Moses, yet still Pharaoh resisted. Then came the seventh plague, a storm like no other, hail mingled with fire, crashing down upon the land, destroying crops, shattering trees, leaving devastation in its wake. And for a moment, Pharaoh seemed to yield, confessing his sin. But as soon as the storm ceased, his heart returned to its hardened state. The eighth plague followed swiftly, as locusts swarmed in, devouring what little remained, stripping the land bare, leaving Egypt on the brink of ruin, and still Pharaoh delayed. Then darkness fell, thick and suffocating, covering Egypt for 3 days, a darkness that could be felt. Yet in the homes of the Israelites, there was light. a powerful reminder of God's presence among his people. But Pharaoh, though shaken, refused to fully surrender. And then came the final warning, the most devastating of all. As Moses declared that at midnight, every firstborn in Egypt would die, from the son of Pharaoh to the child of the servant, and even the livestock. But for the Israelites, there was a way of escape, a command given with urgency, to sacrifice a lamb without blemish, to place its blood on the doorposts, and to remain inside. For that night, the Lord would pass through the land, and wherever he saw the blood, he would pass over that house, sparing those within. And so the Israelites obeyed, preparing the Passover meal in haste, their hearts pounding with anticipation. And as midnight approached, a silence fell over Egypt, a silence that would soon be shattered by cries of grief and despair. For when the hour came, death swept through the land, and there was not a house without someone dead. And in the palace of Pharaoh, the unthinkable happened. His own son, the heir to his throne, was gone. And in that moment, the pride of Egypt crumbled, and Pharaoh, broken and defeated, summoned Moses and Aaron, telling them to leave, to take their people and go. And so, after centuries of bondage, the Israelites were finally free, departing in haste, carrying with them the promise of a new beginning, while behind them, Egypt mourned the cost of its defiance. Yet even in this moment of victory, the story reminds us of something deeper, something eternal, that God is not only a God of power, but a God of justice and mercy, that his patience is great, but his truth cannot be denied forever. And as you reflect on this incredible journey from slavery to freedom, ask yourself what it means to trust in something greater than fear, to stand firm even when the world seems unyielding. And if this story has stirred something within you, if it has reminded you of hope, of deliverance, of the unseen hand guiding history, then take a moment to share it, to let others experience its power. Because stories like this are more than words. They are echoes of truth that continue to speak across generations, calling us to listen, to believe, and to never forget.